There we go.
Great. So Donna asked me to share some tips about, getting back into fitness when you've had a bit of a break. Obviously, we are sort of coming out of lockdown more now, thank goodness. But even so, you may have thought, actually, I'm not quite sure how to get back into exercise after having a long break. You might have done brilliantly in exercise during lockdown, or you may have completely stopped everything. I know there was a lot of ladies in my running groups in particular that just lost their mojo completely. And, it's kind of that, how do I kind of get that back in my life? So whether you are somebody who continues to exercise or stop completely, hopefully some of the tips that I'll go through tonight will inspire you, motivate you, and really just give you a starting point of where you can put some simple things in place to kind of get your fitness mojo back. I always, people say, I've lost my mojo. Well, I'm pretty good at helping people find their mojo again. So hopefully what I'll cover on this will help you do that. So if we could go to the next slide, please, that would be wonderful. I'll just introduce myself a little bit. I'm a mum of two. I have two children who are actually now 13 and 10. I'm 47 and I'm self-employed personal trainer. I also have a cat and a puppy. So my life is very busy and full, but lovely. And somehow I have to fit fitness in there as well. So in terms of my self-employment, what do I do? I'm a personal trainer. So I work with clients one-to-one on whatever their goal may be. So I've had clients who wanted help with their running. I've had clients who do a zero fitness and kind of want me to just build their fitness up and help them lose a bit of weight. I have other clients who want to learn, improve their running time. So there's a real range of things that I help people with. But obviously with personal training, it's very personal. So it's very much about what you want. As well as that, I'm a run leader, which is how I know Julie. Hi, Julie. So I have several groups running, actually, beginners groups. So that's literally for somebody who can't run from here to the bus stop, to people who can run a little bit further. For those beginners, we do a beginners course, which is quite a unique 10-week course where we help people really literally start from jogging, walking, jogging, and building that up over that time to the point where they can run 3 miles. And there's so many ladies say, oh, there's no way I can run, and I'm going to be too unfit for it. So the confidence is quite low, but there's absolutely no better feeling by the end of week 10 to see these ladies do their 3 miles, get their medal, and be absolutely buzzing. It's brilliant. Julie, you know how that feels, don't you? It's fantastic.
Yes,
I love seeing the ladies' faces after that. So those groups run in Darlington, but also in Newton Aycliffe as well. So we'll kind of spread it around the area, which is great. Alongside that, I'm also a nutrition coach. So obviously, with being a personal trainer and helping people get fit, nutrition goes hand in hand with that. However, I do have some clients that just want help with nutrition. So that's something that I help people with, from them wanting to lose weight to having more energy. And also I work with some sports people as well that want to improve, have that edge on their training. And we do that through nutrition. So really within all of those things that I've mentioned, my passion absolutely is helping people feel better in themselves, mentally, physically, helping them improve their energy. I just absolutely love it when people say, oh, I feel great. There's just no better thing to help people with, and I just absolutely love it. So how did I get into this? You might think, well, it's all right for you, you've been fit your whole life, but absolutely not. I was not the sporty girl at school. I couldn't run. I hated cross country. Wasn't into any of that. It was really when I left school that I kind of felt like I was putting on weight, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to start doing some exercise. So I got hold of my mum's Jane Fonda videos. Does anybody remember Jane Fonda?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I used to love it. I used to do it in the front room at home, and I just kind of quite got into it and started to think, oh, I actually quite like this fitness thing. And that's when I decided to go to college and study fitness, did beauty as well, but fitness and nutrition was really where I was massively interested in. So that's how it all started. My first job in fitness was at Springs Health Club. Again, anyone younger than probably my age won't remember it, but put your hands up if you remember Springs Health Club on Teesside Park. Yes, that was the premier fitness gym in the area at that time. So I got a job there, absolutely loved it. And then from there, I moved to London. That was, 27 years ago, because I was 20 when I moved to London. Worked in gyms down there, had personal training clients, absolutely loved it. And I was very fit until I had my first child, and everything, I felt like my whole life had just stopped and changed, and I got postnatal depression, and I just wasn't coping, and certainly exercise wasn't top of my priority list, and I didn't have time. The baby wasn't sleeping, and I started to eat rubbish to cope with the situation, and I became, very down, put on weight, and just totally lost myself. So the picture on the left in 2009 is pretty much, maybe a year after what I've just described. We moved back up north to be near a family, because I needed that support at the time. So I really was kind of starting from the beginning. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is to show that, several times throughout my life, I've had to start from the very beginning again. So I know how that can feel and how daunting that can be, to have to start again. The middle picture there, I'm 43. So as you can see, I've kind of managed to get past that and get fitter again and find myself again. And really the last picture, obviously I'm 47 now, is to show you that, it's a constant, never-ending thing for me. And actually I feel fitter, more energetic and better now at 47 than I ever have in my whole life. So yeah, just to inspire you really of there's really, it's never too late. So if I could have the next slide, please, that would be wonderful. Thank you. So we will talk a little bit about motivation to exercise shortly. So having a strong reason why you should exercise will help you move forward and take those first steps. So for me, being a mum of 2 boys, I have to have a certain amount of energy to keep up with them, especially when they were smaller, because they were just non-stop all of the time. So that really inspired me and gave me that drive to think, come on, Emma, you need to be fitter to be there for them, but also, to be a good example. And then obviously getting back into fitness and nutrition, I wanted to be that good example to other people as well. So that was my strong motivation and reason why. And that's, what on the days where I felt like, and I still get them, by the way, days where I think I really can't be bothered today, that little reason why is that kind of voice in the back of my head to say, come on, Emma, suck it up, get on with it. And you know what, you always feel better afterwards. So thinking about that reason why is important. So we'll go back to that in a bit. So if I could have the next slide, please. So we'll talk next about taking the first step. So yes, fitness should be a lifelong journey, but it doesn't mean that there aren't going to be times in your life, like with me, where life just happens and, that amount of time you could or would spend before might change, so it is going to happen. Let's be realistic. Sometimes it's work, daily obligations, health. There's so many reasons why you might be stopped in your tracks. You're feeling great and suddenly you can't do those things. And then of course we've had the pandemic over the last year, which has at times prevented us from leaving the house at all, which was just crazy times. So hands up if anybody actually managed to work out at home. Did anyone manage to do that? Or did you intend to but didn't do it?
Yoga.
You did yoga?
A little bit, yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's it. I think at the beginning, everyone was like, yeah, Joe Wicks, we're all doing the PE in our front room. And then after a few months, it was like, yeah, whatever, and people became, couch potatoes and did very little, especially during sort of the winter where we had that second lockdown and the bad weather. I think that was a really tough time for people to have any motivation to exercise indoors, outdoors, or anywhere. So it was a tough time. So, just sometimes you just don't feel like it. So let's have a look at you know, how we can get back into fitness and remind ourselves why. We all know we should exercise, but, you know, really, I think revisiting those reasons why and really understanding how much of a difference it can make will help with that motivation. So if I could have my next slide, please. Thank you. So these are some of my top things, you know, clearer thinking. You know, for me, when I exercise, I just feel better, my mood lifts. I have better ideas. You know, if I go for a walk or a run, something comes like the light bulb. Oh, you know, it just seems to clear blockages. You know, it just opens up your mind in a way that you don't if you're sedentary. Obviously, if you're wanting to lose weight or control your weight, maintain it, then exercise is just brilliant because it burns calories. It boosts your energy. You know, you can feel quite lethargic and then do some exercise and just feel so much better after it. Mental health benefits, obviously massive with this one. You know, even a stroll for 15 minutes can mean a massive difference in your mood, a big shift. Exercising regularly is going to help your stamina and strength. Obviously, as we age, you know, I'm a woman, you know, sort of in my late 40s now, and you know what I know is that as we age, we lose muscle mass naturally. So if we don't exercise, muscle mass will decrease, and our metabolism will reduce. So therefore, losing weight, or, you know, gaining weight becomes much easier. Put it that way. So exercising and looking after a healthy muscle mass helps to delay those signs of aging. It also makes us stronger if we were to fall, or, you know, if we were ill, you know, to have that healthy muscle mass. It just helps us recover quicker. Better sleep as well. You know, have you ever been out for a big long walk and thought, God, you know, your head hits the pillow and you just go to sleep in seconds? It's the best feeling, and you have a wonderful sleep. Mood, again, you know, absolutely key to lifting mood after a bout of exercise. So what else? Endurance makes you more limber as well. I think, especially with a lot of people now working from home, sat at a desk, we can become quite, you know, our posture's tight. You know, we just feel tense and stressed. So a little bit of exercise is going to loosen everything up, get the blood flowing. Coordination and balance is going to be improved with exercise. What else have we got? Stress levels reducing, reduced depression, reduced blood pressure. Also, exercising regularly helps to lower blood sugar levels, so preventing and diabetes and things like that are key. Self-esteem, for me, this is one of the big ones about exercise, is that, you know, when you look in the mirror and see, you know, that you have exercised and you feel that little bit stronger, it's just a really great feeling. You know, and to feel better about yourself is just obviously a great thing. So may I have the next slide, please? So you might be thinking, well, this is all well and good, but, you know, when I'm sat on the sofa, how the hell am I supposed to get myself off the sofa to go and do something? So we'll run through a little bit more about motivation that might be able to help you in those moments when you're feeling like you're lacking that motivation. So some people exercise because they want to. And there are some people who don't need any external motivation. They just have that little internal voice that pushes them and keeps them going. Many more people don't have that. They just, you know, really struggle with having that drive to push themselves. You may have had more motivation before a break, but just can't seem to kind of get that back now. So whatever side of that you're on, we need to sort of look at how we can improve that. You can find motivation in lots of places. So from your reflection in the mirror, telling you that you need to get in shape, to the external influences, like, you know, the online influencers. Do you ever see those ones on Instagram and you think, oh my God, look at you, you're amazing. And you just think, oh, actually, that can be quite demotivating at times. Let's be honest. You think, well, I'm never going to be like that. So it's finding things that will inspire you and think, actually, yeah, I could do that, you know. So it's really quite an individual thing to what might inspire you. So look around, look at different ideas that, you know, to find something that kind of pushes your buttons and makes you think, actually, yeah. Often it's somebody like you, a similar age, a similar background, you know, that you think, oh, well, if they can, maybe I could, you know, so it just gives you that little push. So what else? So another great motivation like mine, you know, to be fit and healthy for my children. You might have grandchildren, you know, you might have nieces and nephews that you just think, actually, I'd like to be able to run around after them at the park. You might have a dog that you think, I need to be able to keep up with that.
Hello.
Sorry, was somebody going to say something?
Half the normal amount. She reckons she's on
no. Yeah, sorry. I thought somebody was saying something.
I think it was just Caroline coming in, and maybe, I don't know if she, yeah, I think she just came back in, so I don't know if she'd gone out and come back in again. So it could have just
right, okay, thank you. So yeah, having that personal motivation, that little voice inside you, is way more powerful than anything anybody else could do. You know, yes, you can pay somebody to come and you know, whip your bum and keep you going, but you know, you can easily cancel them if you don't feel like it. So you've got to have that bit of motivation. Think, I'm doing this for me, I'm doing it for those reasons why, because when that's strong, it gives you that power to keep going and to want to do it on those days where you really don't feel like it. So I mentioned my reason why earlier, so have a think. You know, I'll just pause for a few moments. I want you to have a think about you know, if you are wanting to get back into exercise, or if you're already exercising and you think, I want to do more, or I want to make a change, what is your reason why? Have a think about it and get emotional about it and really sort of identify that. So I'll just give you a couple of moments, and then if you feel brave after the presentation, you want to share that with the group, that would be absolutely wonderful, because I'd love to hear a little bit about you. So you can write it down, pin it somewhere, share it with us if you want to. You're going to use that as your motivation on the days where you really think, oh, I really don't want to do it today. I can't be bothered. It won't make any difference if I don't do it today. So really have a good think about that. So next slide, please. So food is fuel. This means everything to me, because, you know, when I was going through postnatal depression and I said how I was eating badly, I was pretty much addicted to sugar. You know, I would crave big bowls of cereal with loads of sugar on, and I would eat it, I would stuff it into my mouth, and you know, I was never hungry. It was about just wanting to eat and wanting to eat and wanting to eat. And you know, the outcome of that was that it just made me tired, irritable, and obviously I gained weight as well. But you become quite addicted to it. It's quite hard to break that cycle, and it's just so unhealthy. So I'm really passionate about food and fuel. So I always like to use the analogy of a car. So, you know, you go to the station to fill up with fuel, and you have a diesel tank, and you accidentally put in the petrol. What happens? The car conks out. It's knackered. You have to pay a lot of money to get it fixed. Equally, if you put the nozzle in and you're filling up and you don't let go of the nozzle and it overflows, where does it go? It spills out everywhere. So looking at that analogy with the body, when we put unhealthy food into our mouth, the body starts to break down. It doesn't know what to do with it. You know, a lot of like sugar, what I was having, it's poison to the body. You know, it can't metabolize it. So we start to, you know, hold that as fat. But the body also starts to break down, and these things can lead to diseases. So, you know, food is fuel. When we're thinking of what we're eating, we should, you know, remember that we're a cellular being. We're made of trillions of cells, and everything we eat on a day-to-day basis is what we become, you know, in the following days and months. You know, our body rejuvenates constantly. So it's mad to think that, you know, you could completely change your diet today and you will be a different, much healthier person in a few months' time. And I love that. And I love remembering that, because it helps me to make better choices. Obviously, I don't do that all of the time. Let's be real. Let's be honest here. But on the whole. So, you know, when we eat well, also, it helps our energy. When you eat badly, you feel tired, you feel grumpy. You're on a yo-yo merry-go-round roller coaster of insulin, highs and lows. It doesn't feel good. But when you eat well, your energy's even, you have better clarity of thought, everything just seems to work better. So when we're talking about food, obviously we know we need to have the main things like proteins, healthy carbs, healthy fats, so just adding, don't think, well, what can I not eat? Think, what can I add? How can I add more fruit and veg to my diet? How can I have a healthier protein? So I'm always sort of thinking healthier choices rather than, removing things, because then you feel like you're missing out and, you feel deprived. So next slide, please. So action. So ideas for simple things you could do right away to make some steps in the right direction. So, in 6 months' time, you don't want to be thinking, or hang on, let's say 3 months' time, when the sun's shining, we're all outside having barbecues, drinking Pimm's in the garden, Pimm's and needles, there you go. We want to be feeling good in our summer dresses, in our shorts, or whatever we like to wear. You don't want to be looking back at that point in 3 months' time thinking, I should have exercised, I could have done this, I should have made better choices. Let's take some action, and make some simple changes that can mean that in 3 months' time, you're going to feel fitter, you're going to be healthier, you're going to have more energy, and you're going to feel really, really great. So number one, hydration. Most people are dehydrated. Most people, I'm going to have a drink actually, just while I'm talking about water. Everybody have a drink if you have one. Are we on the tea, the wine, anybody?
Yes.
So hydration, most people I chat to, I ask how much water they have, and most people reply not enough. And it's such a simple thing that we can do to make a massive difference to our energy. So my little challenge to you is to wake up tomorrow and have a big glass of water. That's 500 mils of water. So if you had like 4 to 6 of those a day, that's going to be probably a lot more than what you're having. And the difference that will make to your energy, your motivation, your thinking, and how your body behaves is massive, and it's a really simple thing we can do. We're made of 70% water. So it follows that for everything to function well, we really do need to keep on top of that. Again, obviously fizzy drinks, a lot of coffee, those things kind of do detract from hydration. So try and swap, some of those drinks if you have them for more water. Swapping bad for better, healthier, really makes a big difference. It's easy to forget. I know a lot of people say to me, when I'm at work and I've got structure, it's easy to remember to drink water, but when I'm at home, I forget. So one of my top tips is to get a big jug, fill it to the top, put it on the side where you can see it, and aim to have that, drink it all by the end of the day. You will feel so much better. So number one, drink a big glass of water when you get up in the morning. You're dehydrated after you've been to sleep, so getting some hydration in first thing is key, and then aim to have that big jug or that amount of glasses by the end of the day. So tip number two, ensure that your first meal of the day, whether you have breakfast at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or even 11 o'clock, whatever your first meal is breakfast, because it's breaking the fast. When you're asleep is when you're sort of fasting, really. So that first meal that you have is really important in terms of how it affects your energy, how it fuels your body for the day. So when I say well balanced, you need to be having some protein, some healthy carbs, and lots of colourful either veg or salad. So examples of a balanced breakfast could be eggs, scrambled eggs on toast, one of my favourite weekend breakfasts. Seeded toast, so you're getting the good fats, in with that. Bit of avocado with it as well if you would like. Things like yogurt and fruit, the sprinkling of nuts on the top, brilliant breakfast. Personally, I have a shake every day for breakfast because it's quick and easy, it's nutritious, and I don't have to mess about, it's done. But whatever you have, that meal really does affect your energy throughout the rest of the day. So I'm talking about nutrition and water, because obviously getting these few things cleaned up a little bit is going to give you more energy to do your exercise, and you'll feel so much better as well. So another little challenge for your action points. If tomorrow you plan to do nothing, how about fit in a 30-minute walk somewhere you love? There's some amazing flowers out, all the trees are sprouting, and a bit of a mindful walk, look at the sky, look at the trees, and just appreciate your body for how amazing it is, and enjoy the fact that it can move. Breathe deeply, just take it all in. And if you're enjoying your stroll and you want to push it a little bit, how about 30-second intervals where you push the speed a little bit, so you kind of really get I'm not talking about going jogging, but just a really brisk walk, and then slow it down a little bit. So play with the speed, and that is going to help to increase your fitness by doing that. So next little action point, have a think about what might motivate you. So everybody is different. Some people love team things, so badminton, tennis, netball, any kind of team sport. Or are you somebody who might prefer something like a walking group, a run group, or a class situation, or a gym? There's so many options out there now. You might like dancing, so Zumba used to be the thing, didn't it? But there's also things like boogie bounce, which is trampolines that you jump up and down on, which looks really good fun. Actually, I've not tried it yet, but it looks really great fun. Or even sticking on your favorite music and having a dance around for half an hour. Really great exercise. But choosing that activity that kind of gets you motivated, gets your blood flowing, excites you, that is the key to being able to do it longer term, because you'll actually want to do it. If you hate running and I say, right, I want you to go running 3 times a week, there's no chance that that's going to happen. But if you love dancing and I say, right, I'm going to give you 3 Zumba workouts to do this week, you're probably going to do it, and you'll love it, and you'll put everything into it. So it's really, really important. Also, daily motivation is really helpful. Exercise tips, inspiration, and ideas. I have a Facebook group, which I'll share the link with Donna later, is a good way to find out different ideas of things, to maybe see what it is that you might float your boat that gets you excited. So next slide, please. Oh, I'm getting really hot in this conservatory. I'm just going to take this off. So in summary, just to sort of recap on everything. So don't put it off. If you're really wanting to make a change, tomorrow morning is the time it's going to happen. Remember those little tips. I can share them again in the group with Donna, your little action points that you could make a big change from tomorrow. As Nike say, just do it. If you ever find yourself procrastinating, maybe I'll go for a run later, or maybe I'll go for a walk, or the weather doesn't look so, just tell yourself to shut up. I do it to myself frequently. Shut up, get on with it, just do it. And honestly, I don't think I've ever done a workout and thought, I really wish I hadn't done that. Like, you're always going to feel better for doing it. Keep it fun. That goes back to what we said about finding something that excites you and you enjoy. Set a goal, but don't be be realistic. So don't say, right, I'm now going to exercise every day for the rest of my life. That isn't going to happen. Say, this week I'm going to go out for this walk tomorrow. I'm going to do 1 piece of exercise tomorrow, or I'm going to do 3 times a week. Be realistic, and then you won't feel disappointed if you don't achieve that crazy goal. Warming up, if you're going for a walk, you don't need to warm up. You can just walk out slowly and gradually build up the pace. Obviously, if you go into a class, the warm up will be included in that. If you're going to work out at home and do a crazy dance routine, I would at least walk around the house for a little bit, because you don't want to end up injuring yourself. Aim to be active at some point during the day. Or you can split that time across the day and just do little bursts. I have a client, she's 83 and she's in a great shape. And one thing she does when she's watching the TV, especially during lockdown, because she was completely isolated, she has been for the best part of a year. Whenever the adverts come on, she goes and walks around or goes upstairs and shuts the curtains. So she's never sitting down for too long. One of the main causes for, you know, issues with people's bodies and mental health is sitting down for too long. So breaking that up and moving around in any way that you can within that is really, really powerful. Exercise with family and friends. Thank goodness we can now do this. You may not be a social person, that's fine. You might prefer to do things on your own, but I think most people love that group element. Certainly with my group classes, that's why people come to it, because they love that interaction. You know, when you're chatting on to somebody, you forget you're exercising, and before you know it, an hour's gone and you feel, oh great, I've done my exercise and I've had a good chin wag and put the world to rights as well. Hydration, mentioned it before, absolutely key. You know, we've got to keep your body well fueled for, you know, for the life we're asking it to live. We've got to put all those nutrients in with our diet as well. So eating healthy is key. Bit of stretching as well. Flexibility is something that lots of people miss. Somewhere nice to start, actually, if you're doing no exercise at the moment, is a simple stretching yoga routine. You know, you can go onto YouTube and search up you know, sort of 10-minute stretching videos, or if you've only got 5 minutes, 5-minute stretch. Just moving your body, stretching, you know, releasing tightness is a really great starting point. And then of course, if you've exercised, a little stretch afterwards is good for preventing stiffness and soreness. So in summary, coming back from a break is never easy, but really using these tips to make you come back, you know, will set the stage for a lifetime of health and happiness. So I really hope you found some of that useful. What I'd love you to do is share in the PIMS group if you are feeling more motivated. If it did help you in some way, please share your reason why as well, and let's help each other kind of get motivated and stay motivated. So that's it. I hope I haven't like rushed through that in about 5 minutes. I talk quite fast when I get excited, so I'm really sorry if I have.
It's been brilliant, Emma. Absolutely fantastic. It's so inspiring to listen to. I think we need a dose of Emma more often.
Oh, thank you so much. Has anyone got any questions? I'm happy to answer any questions or chat about anything.
What's your kind of weekly routine? What kind of different exercises do you do in a week? I'm just intrigued.
Okay, so I run 3 times a week, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because I have the run group on a Monday, and then I think, oh well, I want to run 3 times a week. But I actually run with the puppy now, because obviously I was thinking, oh, I've got to go for a dog walk and now I've got to go for a run. But luckily she likes running, so I take her with me. So I run 3 times a week. I do weight training 3 times a week. And then also teach my online classes, but I don't really count them because I'm teaching, I demonstrate an exercise, and then I'm kind of looking to see what people are doing. So I don't count that as my exercise. So I am quite active, you know, 2 dog walks a day, 3 runs a week, and 3 lots of weight training. So yeah, this is why I need to eat well, because I wouldn't have the energy to do all that if I didn't.
Definitely. Oh
yeah. What about you guys? Do any of you exercise now, or is this your comeback? Are you inspired to get going again?
I do a bit of yoga, and I did get a bike, but I found that last year, the beginning of last year, I started coming out in spots when I exercise. I come out in a rash. Yeah. Even if I'm like, for example, I was hoovering the back of the car the other day and I came out in spots. So it's like movement doesn't like me. So if I go on a bike ride, all my